ago, stunning Missouri in the opening day of the tournament. So this is a conference that actually has a record of winning games in the NCAA tournament. Not winning more than they lose, mind you, but Coppin State was another team as a 15 seed that won against a number 2. We're ready to go. Randy Heimerman, Jeff Campbell, Casey Eli are the men in stripes, and North Carolina Central with that guard-dominated attack has the ball to open the game.
And you talk about the MEAC. This is a team that really hasn't made a face in that conference. They had their best season last year. They went 15-1 in the conference. Fell short in their conference tournament. But this is a program starting to find some identity. And you're right, Bruce. This is a very, very guard-oriented team. They play a lot of guys, a lot of minutes. They'll go 7 deep. Sometimes they'll push that to 8. Look them to run very good man-to-man defense. They're going to switch it up a lot. There's a guy struggling from 3. Hit a couple last game. You get him started early. Watch out.
Coming off a 26-point game at Alabama, a new season high for Cleanthony Early. Coming in, hitting just 29% from beyond the arc. But he opens with a shocker 3. And then right back the other way, that's Karama Chawara, 6'1 freshman out of Pontiac, Michigan, knocking it down and tying the game.
It's a big shot. He's only knocked down 3 on the season. That's his 4th. It's his 10th attempt from behind the arc. But the big fella can step back and shoot it.
Nice play, rolling it in by Darius Carter, who is in the lineup tonight. Carter will shoot 2. Darius Carter has really made some nice strides, Craig. He's averaging 6.8 points and 5.2 rebounds in 17 minutes. But he's coming off a 9.7 rebound effort in the game against Alabama as he knocks that through. And over his last 3 games, he's averaging 10.6 points and 9 rebounds. He has been active.
Well, I think between him, LaFille, and Colby, he's been the guy that's stepped up. He's 11-19 shooting from the field over those last 3 games. You talked about Bruce coming into tonight. He's 8 for 8 from the free throw line over those 3 games. Doesn't get to fall, but he's playing a lot of minutes. 27 minutes he's averaging over the last 2 games. So Coach Marshall's starting to get a lot of confidence in him. You know, a few times in the last couple games, he's played with his back to the basket. He's been able to score with his back to back. Now, he can step out and shoot the 15-footer. I think he's got really nice touch with that. But a big fella down low, getting him more touches, is just going to get more confidence in the paint.
Unforced error for the visitors from Durham, North Carolina. They only average 13 a game. Cale Cotton working down low, draws the double team. Skirts pressure, Baker to Van Vliet. Good ball movement. They're trying to go low to Darius Carter. Cleanthony Early for 3. That was a good-looking shot. Cotton tipped it away, and last touch by Cale Cotton.
And that's just some of the half-court defense you're going to see from NC Central. Right there, they went into a box and 1. They're focusing on Cleanthony Early. He's the guy that they're going to try to contain. But this is a very athletic team, talented athletes that will change their defenses every possession.
Jay Copeland out front. Chapman to the corner. Ingram, looping shot. Cleanthony Early with his first pull. Ingram has been well covered with each of his 2 offerings. He's 0 for 2 to start the game.
And that's what Ingram wants to do. He wants to put the basketball on the floor. He's been to the free throw line 102 times, averages 11 attempts a game. If that doesn't sound like a lot or might sound like a lot, Cleanthony Early's been to the line 53 times. So he's almost doubled getting to the free throw line, puts it on the floor, puts his head down. But you have to be aware, he's a guy that can't step back and knock down the triple.
Alfonso Houston for 3. 3-on-3 break, all the way to the bucket, and Darius Carter is fouled on his way. Randy Heimerman with the whistle. And the foul goes against Emmanuel Chapman. Second team foul on the visitors, who came in on separate flights and didn't get in until late this afternoon. They had some real travel issues with the weather on commercial airlines.
Well, they just got in a few hours ago.
Right.
The coaching staff, they don't even have their suits that they're wearing. At one point, they thought they were going to have to wear the Shockers black jerseys to play this game. They didn't know what luggage they were going to get.
Trials and tribulations of the team trying to travel this time of year.
And they've had a rough year on the road. This team went IUPUI and got the loss, but they had travel problems there. They got into weather there. The bus driver, the head coach was saying they were driving 10 miles an hour to get to the game. They ride to the game 30 minutes before game time. This is a team that has not had any success weather-wise on the road.
3-2 coming in on the road. Craig talked about playing NC State, also Old Dominion. When they get down here next week, they play Mark Turgeon's squad at Maryland.
They got to the line 45 times versus NC State. Made 41 of them.
Last touch by NC Central. Yeah, you talked about Ingram in doing prep for this game. His numbers are just off the chart. Talk about a guy that will put it on the floor and will go challenge you at the basket. You're going to see him tonight. And Jeremy Ingram, 6'3" senior out of Charlotte.
He uses both hands really well. Very good in the open court. Can finish with the left and the right.
Ron Baker off the turnover. And hustling to get it back and does. 2-on-2 break. Van Vliet stops. Good ball fake. Cleanthony Early all the way in, and he'll shoot two. Love the big fella at 6'8" on the baseline, showing the ball, and then putting it on the floor, going strong to the rim.
And it starts with the point guard. Great patience by Van Vliet of letting his guys get in. He didn't have anything initially, but by slowing the dribble down a little bit, was able to find early, and then the ability to use a shot fake at 6'8" and then go up. They've got to foul him.
Clee has been busy in this ball game.
He's coming off of a game where he went 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Didn't even get to the charity stripe the game before, but was money from the line.
Has 5 of the Shockers 8 points. Wichita State up by 5. Houston with it, leaves it off. That's Ingram working against who else but Cale Cotton. Cotton has had the better of that match up to this point. 3 ball on the way, quick catch and shoot. And a good job by Cleanthony Early and Fred Van Vliet. Early, all sorts of attention, and he dragged his foot. Timeout on the floor. Shockers up 5, a fairly quick start as they look for their 12th in a row. Back to the roundhouse. Shockers look to go to 12-0. Davidson comes in next weekend as the North Carolina tour continues here in Kansas. Backcourt pressure for the first time. Shockers love to trap the inbounds pass. They generally won't trap the second pass inbounds. Ingram with the Cale Cotton, his shadow. That's a 2. And a good shot from Emmanuel Chapman, 6'1" senior out of Raleigh, averaging just over 5 points a game. 38% field goal shooter, but he was pure that time. Early in traffic.
Yeah, that's a big shot by Emmanuel Chapman. He's a guy who only averages about 5 points a game. You see him with the basketball in his hand. He is a distributor of the rock. Has great vision. He's looking to pass first. One of the best assist guys in the country. Dishes it out 7.2 times a game. Just outstanding of finding other guys to get the basketball.
Copeland called here, the big fella right in the middle. There's the bucket by Cleanthony Early.
Yeah, that's just too easy. They've got to find Early at all times. They have to know where he's at. Obviously, Wichita State is going at Cleanthony. He's a guy feeling good. He's shooting the ball extremely well over the last 3 games, right around 54%. But there you see he catches it, doesn't get flustered, takes his time, shows some poise, and easy bucket.
NC Central desperately outsized as Baker missed badly with his first effort. Went with a zone that time to try to get some internal help against the Shocker big men. Going big with Carter and Cleanthony Early both at 6'8". Nice driving bucket by Chapman, so he has back-to-back scores for the visiting Eagles. Shockers identify the zone.
And you have great player movement, good ball movement, and you can try to attack the zone with the dribble, try to get in deep. That's just going to make that zone commit. Find open shooters.
Carter leaning in. Good stuff. And just no one to defend him down low.
Well, that's tough. Darius Carter, I like that he catches it quick and gets off the deck and puts it off the glass. That's just too tough. And that's what Greg Marshall's been wanting. He's been searching for a guy down low that can play with his back to the basket. And Darius Carter's been that guy as of late.
Nice driving bucket. Ingram with his first 2 points. Ramon Eaton into the game, a 6'8 junior out of Vallejo, California, for the first time. He plays very, very little, but obviously head coach Lavelle Moten trying to get a little bit more size into the lineup against this Wichita State team. Backdoor, Carter, pure strength. Last touch by NC Central.
Number 13, Groves. Number 2, Parks.
Reggie Groves and Jordan Parks into the game for the first time. Parks, a 6'7 junior out of Queens, New York, is actually the third leading scorer on this team. He comes off the bench. Cale Cotton sits down for the Shockers.
Yeah, Jordan Parks is a very good athlete. His athleticism is off the charts. Serves the team well because he can guard any guy on the basketball court. Coming off an outstanding game off the bench versus Winthrop, had 18 points. Look for him, maybe. They'll try to stick him on Clay Anthony early. He's there in the middle in that 2-3 zone. Nice job of getting a hand.
Clee tried to buy a foul, didn't get it. Nick Wiggins into the game for the first time. Good change of pace and one. Oh, didn't get the bucket. But that's the quickness and the crossover move by Ingram right there.
Yeah, and this team's going to test Wichita State. NC Central, obviously, you can see this first almost 8 minutes of this basketball game. They're wanting to put the rock on the floor and get to the basket, either get the bucket, easy layup, or get to the foul line.
Which is where Ingram lives. 102. That's got to be one of the top numbers in the country, certainly from a guard. Bricks that one. A 75% free throw shooter, Jeremy Ingram. Tail of the tape. Pretty good numbers. Boy, missed them both. And then Clay Anthony early. A foul in the backcourt on number 2 Parks. That's the 15th foul against North Carolina Central. It's good to see Clay Anthony early really get into an offensive rhythm. Caught a lot of balls on the block deep against Alabama.
Look out.
Perfectly timed play on the back cut. High in the air, Clay Anthony early throws down.
You have to be aware of the backside against the zone. You see NC Central relax and the slammer jammer by Clay Anthony early. Woo, he got up, didn't he?
And one way up in the air for Clay Anthony early. And not to be underestimated, a pinpoint pass from Fred VanVleet, who put it right where it needed to be.
Backside of the zone, if you can reverse the basketball and kind of, act like you're going the opposite way, that's there, man. A perfect pass, and you see the rising by Clay Anthony early. Man, that boy can get up.
10 points for Clee. Wichita State leads at 15-9. So Clay Anthony picking up where he left off at Alabama. Ingram for 3. And he gets the shooter's roll.
3-point basket by Ingram.
Ball's going to be in his hand. Between him and Emmanuel Chapman, those are the 2 guys. Chapman dishing, Ingram shooting.
Wiggins has not been able to find his range from three-point land, shooting just 19%. 3 on the other way. Wiggins pulls. That's a part of the game that I think Wichita State's got to get going a little bit, Craig. Nick Wiggins is a really valuable asset with his range. Baker and Kadeem Colby come up empty.
And officials timeout.
Nothing like a little back cut against the zone. VanVleet pinpoints. High flying Clay Anthony early and right on time. Shockers by 3.
Wichita State Shocker Basketball is brought to you by Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age.
Wichita State up by 3 in this holiday season. Festive crowd of 10,500. Looking to start the Christmas holiday a little early with a win tonight. North Carolina Central has been pretty good, shooting at 45.5%. Shockers just 4 of 10. Wichita State has out-rebounded NC Central, 8-6. Anthony Early with 10 of the Wichita State's 15 points. Ingram has yet to hit that three ball, and he's had a couple of good looks. Evan Wessel into the game for Wichita State. Early was calling for it, gets it, and draws the foul. Had a total mismatch down there, and to Klee's credit, calling for the ball and wanting the ball. And Greg, that's something that we saw in Alabama. Really calling for the basketball with authority. He demanded it in his hands and ended up being a big difference in the game.
He was a beast. He knew it was his time to step up and produce in that basketball game. And he established himself in the paint. I mean, sometimes you forget, but the guy's 6'8". And he can use that size at 219 pounds. If he can catch it deep, his athleticism of getting off the deck is hard to stop.
It's interesting that a player like Anthony Early, even in a game like that with Tennessee or Alabama, creates mismatched problems for teams that have similar athletes. But in the end, they really don't have similar athletes because Anthony can do so much with the basketball in so many different ways.
Well, he's just a dynamic talent. You said it, Bruce. He can do so many things in different ways, but he can score in many different ways. And right now his focus is in the paint. And what that is going to do is just going to create so many other things, not only for himself, but for other guys around the perimeter.
Wessel working against Ingram now. Boy, Early's got Emmanuel Chapman on him. Trying to post up. Evan Wessel 0 for the season from three-point range. That's his 9th straight miss to start the year. Made even more frustrating by the fact that through the first 7 games last year before he was injured, really shot the ball pretty well from beyond the arc. Looking for that first shot to go this year. That was a good look. He just couldn't get it down.
I thought he was really good in the Alabama game. Played 19 minutes. Most minutes he's played in the last 5 games. He got 5 rebounds. He got a huge rebound late in that game. But he's a grinder. He's going to defend. He's going to rebound. He's turned into a very, very good role player. But he'll get his confidence back. And when he does, watch out, because I think he's got an excellent shot. Just hadn't been able to make it fall. Tell you what, it's essential. They got to box somebody out.
Yeah. Wichita State doing an incredible job on the offensive glass. They had 2 good looks from 3. Klee had a little putback from about 4 feet that he couldn't knock down. And the foul ends up going against Nick Wiggins. Darius Carter back in for Wichita State. Shadrach Lucille making his first appearance of the game. And Ron Baker back in. Cale Cotton. Shocker lead is 4. Their largest of the first half has been 5. And Ingram scores off the bounce.
Yeah, that's a nice play. Right around the free throw line, they do a high pick. And they're looking for Ingram. You got to be aware of what's going on. When that screen's happening, that's when they're putting the basketball on the floor. Good job by Ingram to get into the glass quick.
Central stayed in that zone. Turned early on the man-to-man. Baker for 3. High in the air, Wessel, and then a jump ball. So Evan Wessel going in there hard. It forces the tie-up, and Wichita State has it on the alternating possession.
Yeah, that's what's special about Evan Wessel. He never relaxes. He never takes a play off. That's just giving his team another chance to score the basketball. Flying through there to get the rebound.
Shockers off to a poor start from three-point range. It's actually 1 for 8 now. 8 of their 15 shots, which is way too high of a percentage, have come from beyond the arc. Wichita State shooting at 33% from three-point line. They only average about 17 attempts a game. That's down from a year ago, and they averaged about 21 a game. But they're on a high pace tonight.
And Greg Marshall's telling Evan Wessel, you're wide open, take the shot. And that's one thing that's so special about Coach Marshall. He lets his guys shoot. He never puts any clamps. He never puts the handcuffs on guys. That, you know, if they don't have any confidence, he lets them keep shooting. He tries to get them their confidence built.
with a three after the Baker miss.
Yeah, he won't tell him to stop shooting. Greg Marshall, he'll tell us, you keep shooting until they're going to eventually fall. It's a good shooting basketball team. You put enough up, you're going to get one to fall. NC Central, they have to do a better job of rebounding out of that zone. It's been good to them so far.
Shockers have matched their biggest lead. And Marshall's philosophy, he stated it on numerous times, is how can I get him not to take a shot at one time, but then later in the season in a game when I need someone to take a shot, to expect them to step up and hit it.
And there's some coaches that aren't like that. They're going to say, hey, we're not going to let you shoot. You take a break, but he lets them pull it. That's what's special about it. He was on Evan Wessel, not pulling in the corner. He's a good shooter. Put it up.
Shockers have hit just one of their last 6 from the floor. Cotton passed up a 15-footer. Baker from the baseline.
NC Central, knowing Baker's a great three-point shooter, they have to get out on him. What's Baker do? Hits him with a little shot fake. One dribble jumper. That was sweet.
Cotton and Ingram working against each other. There's the matchup right there. Carter missed the switch, and Ingram buried the three.
Good patience in the zone. Wichita State also running the zone on the other side. NC Central sticking to one side, was able to get one to fall. Ron Baker answers back with a trifecta.
Back-to-back triples from Ron Baker. Right at Scott City. Ingram to the basket, knocked away. Good job defensively by Wichita State, but breaks back. Van Vliet all the way. Oh, and he couldn't quite get it to go. Van Vliet, when we come back, will be at the line, shooting 2. Timeout on the floor. Shockers up by 5. 3 of them right there from Ron Baker. On 7 baskets. They had only 6 in the ball game against Alabama. And while Greg Marshall credited some of that to some faulty collecting of numbers, he nonetheless wanted to make sure his team shared the ball nicely tonight. So far, 7 baskets and 7 assists. And Van Vliet, his 4th point of the ball game. Van Vliet already with 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and no turnovers. Do you think that's a pretty good line that's starting?
He's turning into a pretty impressive point guard for this program. One that I think Shocker fans are going to remember for a long time.
You think?
And you brought something early in the broadcast, Bruce, about this team and how do they prepare themselves to come into it. After you play Tennessee and teams like that. These guys are winners. You know, they were winners in high school. You look what they did a couple of years. You got guys that have been in this program for 3 years now. It's a couple of redshirted, but they've been around winning the NIT. What they've done last year, they went to the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, and then the accomplishments last year. It's just they're winning, and once you build that, you understand. You play like it night in and night out. Now, they're going to have some hiccups. But it's how are they going to answer those hiccups? What guys are going to step up, say, hold up, this isn't us. We need to figure it out and turn the momentum.
5 turnovers for North Carolina Central, a team that comes in averaging 13. Houston in traffic, pops it up. Good defensive pressure by the Shockers.
Darius Carter I've noticed that. He does a good job of running the court, running in transition. As a big man, you want to run the middle of the court. Your guard will find you. Darius Carter did an excellent job of that. And Baker saw it the whole time. He just waited for the right time to drop the dime.
Suddenly, Wichita State has its largest lead at 9 points. Chapman up top with Baker giving chase. 8 to shoot. And they just turn it over. That's 3 straight times down the floor.
Chapman, not a guy that turns it over a lot. He's their assist guy. He's their floor leader. He gets the ball to shoot his hand. There's a guy at the top. He's going to find him. It's not like him to turn it over. Ill-advised.
Yeah, Chapman with 37 minutes a game plays more than any other in this North Carolina Central roster. Van Vliet across the ball screen. 13 to shoot. Nice little hesitation. The teardrop. The follow. Kept alive by Takale Cotton in a fresh 35.
Relentless pursuit to the basketball.
Shockers now with 6 offensive rebounds, none for North Carolina Central. Baker in traffic, you bet.
That's tough. You reverse the basketball from one side of the court, opposite. Baker did a tremendous job of as soon as he catches it, don't let that zone rotate. Tack it, put the ball on the floor, get to the glass.
Baker with 7 as the Shockers push the lead to double digits for the first time tonight.
NC Central, they're going to have to find something defensively. They've stuck into that zone, that 2-3 zone, trying to stretch it out. Wichita State's done an outstanding job of finding cracks into that zone.
Baker keeps it alive, and here comes Anthony Early. Early leaves it off for Van Vliet, and Fred gets him in the offensive set on Baker, trailing down the court. Down low, doesn't get any better than that. That's going to draw a timeout, but for more than that, it's going to draw the enthusiasm of 10,500 to their feet in collective appreciation for a team that looks all like the top 10 squad that they are. 32-19, Wichita.
In the night before, you check into the hotel room about 5 o'clock, get some dinner, maybe get in an hour and a half practice, come to the gym the next day, which would be today, get here about 10 o'clock. Go back, relax in your hotel room. These guys have been on the run, fighting the weather, fighting airplanes. I got to say it's got to affect them, but give Wichita State credit. They're just playing outstanding here in the first half.
They may be on their flight, but Wichita State's the one doing the flying so far. Timeout on the floor. Shockers cruising here in the first half. Arguably their best first half of the season at home, leading by 13. 17-10, Wichita State with 6 offensive rebounds, and they have 5 second chance points off of those rebounds.
Well, they're sharing the basketball, 9 assists. It's a team that averages 13 assists a game. They're getting it done in that fashion.
Long 3 ball. North Carolina Central has thrown up a few of them, 3 of 10. And last touched by the streaking Reggie Groves.
That's a tough pass by Van Vliet, but talk about Nick Wiggins going up and snatching it. Tremendous catch.
Anthony Early, Darius Carter up front, Wiggins, Wessel. 3 ball for Evan Wessel. Can't quite get it to go, and last touch by North Carolina Central. Wessel has had 2 opportunities from beyond the arc. Both shots have looked good.
Yeah, he's just got to get the confidence. I think they're right on target. That one looked like it was good. It was shot it right in front of us. He's got great rotation with it. Little flat. He'll get him the fall.
Van Vliet all the way with the left hand. Pretty
smooth, isn't he?
Yep.
And this is when they wear down teams. When they score a bucket, they pick up in that 2-2-1 full court. Sometimes they like to trap out of it. They just wreak havoc against offensive teams. And this is a team that if you keep wearing them down, their bench isn't very deep. A very, very short bench. They got a lot of guys that play a lot of minutes. Fatigue's definitely got to be a factor against NC Central.
Tough shot taken by Karamo Jawara. Shake it off. Foul was on Nick Wiggins, his second, by the way. Shockers staying in that good rebounding position by Anthony Early. Carter all the way to the bucket. You bet.
Great floor spacing. The point guard, Van Vliet, brings it up the court. All 3 guys that were ahead of him stayed wide. And then here comes the trailer right down the middle of the court. Great vision by Van Vliet. And how about the finish? Rising up off the deck. Nice touch.
A little 1-3-1 look by Wichita State. Ball down low. And that ends the run. Just inside of 2 minutes to play.
Basket by Jawara.
Jawara with the bucket. Carter with the right hand. Couldn't get it to go. Evan Wetzel with the putback. Wichita State just putting it to the Eagles on the offensive glass.
Evan Wetzel so strong. That's why he can get in there and get the basketball. 6'5", 215, strength. Grabs it with two hands. Puts it up right away.
Shockers doing a good job getting in and disrupting passing lanes. Nick Wiggins now with that good length at the top of the Shocker zone. Ingram to the corner.
All five guys flying around.
Groves deep from three.
That was a pretty good possession. All five guys are flying around. That was a deep three. He was 2 feet behind the arc. They haven't been shooting it well. It's a big bucket. They needed something to fall.
Great look. Really nice pass from Cleanthony early. A little no-look to Darius Carter.
His third 19 on the Eagles.
And that is the third personal on Emmanuel Chapman. Shockers at the line, coming off that 25 of 27 effort at Alabama. 9 of 11 tonight. With Darius Carter at the line.
But before that missed free throw, this is a team you don't want to foul coming into this game. The previous four, they shot 82% from the free throw line. And with the rule changes now, more fouls being called, getting to the free throw line more, you want to be shooting the ball extremely well from the free throw line, especially late game. A lot of games against good teams are going to come down to the charity stripe. You've got to be able to knock them down.
You know, Darius Carter's an interesting. He missed both of those free throws. He's averaging almost 7 points and just over 5 rebounds a game. But in his last 3 games, 10.6 and 9 rebounds. North Carolina Central is going to be shooting 3. Carter's got 11 points tonight. So he's continuing the cycle. Darius Carter has really picked it up. He's kind of become the go-to big guy on this Shocker rotation. Ingram at the line shooting 3. Coming off a 24-point game against Winthrop. Had a 36-point effort. 7th highest scoring game in North Carolina Central history against Appalachian State earlier this season. And he's got 10 of the 24 points for the Eagles tonight. But he has worked hard for them, I can tell you that.
He's a guy that last year came off the bench, had 16 points here in Koch Arena. A much improved player. Really worked on his handles in the offseason. You can tell the guy does an awesome job of using the dribble to get to the basket, draw fouls. Obviously, we talked about how many times he gets to the free throw line. 11 attempts a game.
Boy, he missed all 3 badly. That's the look of a tired shooter right there. He's 4 of 9. That's a 75% free throw shooter who's missed 4 times from the line tonight. Shockers have led by as much as 17. Holding for the last possession right here. Baker in the corner. 5. Hangs. Can't get it. Put back. Nice job.
NC Central, they've just done a pitiful job of rebounding in that zone. Shockers are sending guys and getting it. Good first half. That's getting it done.
Well, I would say so. They scored 40 points in 20 minutes and lead by 16 in an effort that has clearly been their best first half of the season. Shockers cruising, but with 20 minutes still to play. The Patterson Legal Group halftime report is 10,500 in Charles Koch Arena. That number will be repeated throughout the season. A very interesting season unfolding for Wichita State on a lot of national radars right now. Words like unbeaten being attached to them, which of course hasn't been done in a regular season since St. Joseph's did it a few years ago. Actually lost in their tournament, conference tournament, before reaching the Final Four.
Over the last 3 years, this is one of the best road teams in the country, along with Kansas University. On top of that, this team doesn't lose at home. Only 3 losses at home since the 2011-2012 season. So this team obviously has found an identity.
Count the three-point basket by
Pretty good start for the Eagles. Ingram with a three-pointer and one. Foul went against Takale Cotton. And Ingram, who missed 4 free throws in the first half, buries this one. And that's a pretty good start, cutting the deficit from 16 to 12 in one trip down.
Well, they're going to come out in the man, as you can see. They got to find a way to stop the Shockers defensively in the man-to-man. They're going to have to communicate, contain the dribble. Wichita State is very physically strong with the dribble, can get to the glass.
Copeland working against Early. Clee had a nice look for Darius Carter, last touched by Central. 12 seconds to shoot now for Wichita State. Anthony Early, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range. He was 4 of 5 from the line. And a kick by NC Central. 6 seconds to shoot now for Wichita State. It's been a disjointed first possession for Greg Marshall's squad. They get 15 on the reset off the inbounds. That's on the shot clock. Early with Alfonso Houston on him. Great look. Takale Cotton steps back behind the three-point line. And then a push down low against Wichita State's Fred Van Vliet.
But again, Van Vliet is able to use the dribble to get into the heart of that zone. NC Central really likes to extend that zone out. I would like to see them kind of hone that down so they can try to contain Wichita State and get some stops. But they did get a good shot. A deep three by Takale Cotton. See if they can get back-to-back buckets.
Good look down low, and that's a goaltend against Anthony Early. First 6 points of the second half to the visitors.
Yeah, Jay Copeland rocks Wichita State with a high screen, which left a wide open avenue to the basket. NC Central not giving up.
Good look down low. And Clee with the pin against the backboard. Darius Carter, shoot 2. It's going to be very difficult for the Eagles to do anything with either of the Wichita State big men, which right now are Darius Carter and Anthony Early. They catch the ball down low, they're going to have opportunities at the basket.
Well, he's been very successful in that first half of using that dribble and strength to keep backing himself and getting closer to the bucket and getting himself to the foul line. NC Central are going to have to start sending a couple guys at him to make him give it up.
68% free throw shooter, Darius Carter, the 6'7" junior out of Akron by way of Vincennes Junior College. Knocks it down. Pressure in the backcourt. That's a good block by Anthony Early. Posed a little bit on that one, and then the foul quickly by Jawara. The one before was a goaltend, but that one was a clean block.
second team foul and a half on the Eagles.
Woo, that's good stuff.
And look at him. Pin it, take it down, and look at it. Don't bring that here. Don't think about that ever again. That was priceless.
Ron Baker working out front, and then a whistle. It's going to go against Houston, I think. Alfonso Houston. No, check it. Foul went against Jawara, and that's his 4th foul. It's the only freshman on the roster, at least that gets any playing time, is Ramo Jawara. Craig talked about it at the top of the broadcast. This is a senior-dominated basketball team. And this is a team, along with Norfolk State, who can do some damage in the MEAC. Shockers turn it over.
Hey, you don't see that often anymore in today's game. Jeremy Ingram, Emmanuel Chapman, these are 2 guys that have been in the program for 4 years. And that's special. And that shows the identity of this basketball. That's why they were so successful last year. Had their first 20-win season in 16 years since they've been a Division I program.
It's an incredible history of basketball at North Carolina Central. Try to get to that a little bit as time allows here in the second half. The great Sam Jones, the National Basketball Hall of Fame of the Boston Celtics and his great dynasties. Bill Russell and the like played at North Carolina Central. Carter drawing the tough defense from Jay Copeland, and the ball is turned over. Shockers have turned it over on consecutive trips.
Yeah, and NC Central, they forced the double team and then quickly recovered, forcing Darius Carter to give the basketball up.
And an offensive foul that time on Ingram.
When you get stops defensively, you got to capitalize on the other end of the court if you want to creep yourself back into this ball game.
There's a good look at LaVelle Moten. They called him poetry in Moten when he was playing here. Still the program's, third all-time leading scorer?
Put up 1,700 points for the program. This was an outstanding basketball player.
Played here in the middle 90s. Darius Carter will go back to the line. My sense is what you're going to end up seeing here from North Carolina Central. And LaVelle Moten is a team that's going to drive the basketball a lot here in that second half, and Wichita State's going to get fouled on the other end. It's been the pattern here, at least to open the second half, as Carter drops it down. Darius with 14 points. Talked about the Eagles and their rich basketball tradition. Does the name John McClendon mean anything to you? Of course, Kansas is the cradle of coaching, with so many great coaches that have come from the University of Kansas, Adolph Rupp and Dean Smith, so many. But John McClendon was a guy that was born out of Hiawatha, Kansas. 3-ball from deep for Ingram. Ended up going to the University of Kansas. Couldn't play basketball there because Kansas wasn't integrated until 1951. McClendon ended up being the head coach at North Carolina Central and was the coach in the so-called secret game played in March of 1944 between NC Central and Duke. A game that was won by NC Central 88-44. 3-ball not good the other way. McClendon went on to coach at Cleveland State, then in the ABA. In fact, he was the first African-American coach to coach as a head coach at any professional sport in the United States. Van Vliet the other way, and the Shockers miss the highlight. Van Vliet back the more conventional way and gets it to go. How good was that?
Like a little dippy-do with the left. Well, he's so good with both hands. I'll tell you what, NC Central was starting to get a rhythm. They got a couple stops, but they could not capitalize on the offensive end, and Fred Van Vliet was a catalyst of that, getting the steal on one end, and then the okey-doke layup, whatever you want to call it, on the other end. That was a big bucket to kind of stop this mini run by NC Central.
Didn't get the offensive glass. That's the first offensive rebound by NC Central. Shocker fans in unison pulling their club down. Up by 10. Led by as many as 17 in the first half. They were up 16. They're just trying to play an isolation game right now for Ingram, who's Takale Cotton is on him.
Tried to run a back door.
Houston.
Against Takale Cotton.
And Brown Baker pulls it down, and then the foul by Jordan Parks. Conversation ensuing between LaVelle Moten and the officiating crew. Fred Van Vliet with the soft left hand. Shockers up here had beaten then nationally ranked Dayton. So the Redbirds with an early salvo in the Missouri Valley Conference. Talking about that secret game played between North Carolina Central and Duke in 1944. It was secret because at that point, North Carolina Central was called the North Carolina Central College for Negroes. It was an all-black school at that particular time. And that matchup was arranged secretly between the two head coaches and played secretly. Of course, later in the 60s, a good strong move. UTEP Then Texas Western beat Kentucky for the national championship in the game that is most widely recognized and publicized as the first public matchup between an all-white team and an all-African-American team. Good stuff from North Carolina Central.
Well, this is a program that now is on the right track. They've won some big games. We talked about the NC State game. They won 3 of their games they've won in overtime. They beat Winthrop already. That's their last victory. They won against Old Dominion. We've talked about their senior leadership. They've got a lot of guys, though, playing 30 or more minutes. 4 guys playing 30 more minutes a game. Coach Moton has got to find guys off the bench that can step up and be contributors.
Ron Baker draws the foul on the baseline with time winding down on the shot clock. Wichita State has done a very nice job of taking care of the basketball. Only 5 turnovers.
Ron Baker shooting 2.
Ron Baker at the line to shoot 2. Ron has had a nice night with 7 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists and no turnovers. Knocked that one off the back rim. Baker, like most of his Shocker cohorts, a good free throw shooter at 86%. Moving much more fluidly on that ankle that really hampered him against Tennessee and Alabama. Back out to a 13-point lead as Shadrack Lufield checks in. Cale Cotton as well. Lee Anthony Early and Ron Baker sit. Shockers will break for the holidays here at least this week, at least the Christmas break. And next Sunday, back against Davidson. We'll have that one for you at 2 o'clock. That is a time change. It was originally scheduled for 7. A 2 o'clock afternoon game against Davidson, which took North Carolina on the road into overtime yesterday. 3-ball from the corner.
He brings that way back behind his head, doesn't he, when he shoots it?
Cale Cotton all the way to the basket, leaves it off for Wessel. Van Vliet had an idea from NBA range. He thinks better of it. Works off a high ball screen into traffic. Cale Cotton came down with it. And a timeout taken by Greg Marshall. Great timeout taken by the Shocker bench as Cotton would have had problems maintaining possession.
How about Darius Carter going after?
6 assists, 6 rebounds, no turnovers.
Special, man.
That is just killing it from the point guard position.
Just a legit point guard that very unselfish. He's made some moves tonight with that little in and out hesitation dribble that has had NC Central shaken.
Back to a zone look for NC Central. Russell had his shot partially blocked. Carter had it for a moment.
How about the effort by Darius Carter? Man, he is going everywhere to try to get that basketball.
Great stuff. Shockers hustling at every opportunity. And another possession. And now conversation. Jeff Campbell and Casey Eli. Actually, that's Randy Heimerman. There's Casey. Cale Cotton off a high ball screen from the field. Hesitation. Plenty of time to shoot. Evan Wessel working the baseline. Cotton from 16. Just stepped into the crease and got a good looking shot.
Yeah, at times I think Wichita State has struggled against the zone, but tonight they've been very efficient and effective with all facets of trying to break down the zone. They've done it with passing. They've done it with great screen work. They've done it with dribble penetration of getting into the heart of that zone. And they've shot the ball fairly well when they've had to make shots to try to extend that zone.
Shockers extending their defense. On the floor, pressuring, ball on the floor, and turned over. Wouldn't have probably got the shot off anyway. They threw it out of bounds with 1 second left. Timeout on the floor. Shockers with it and up 13.
Check it out.
So glad we...
Just under 12 minutes to play, up by 13. Lead was 16 at the break. Largest lead for the Shockers has been 17 versus Irwin. Craig Stephen with the call on Devlin Court. Here at Charles Koch Arena.
Wichita Central made a little run there to try to get themselves back in the game, but Wichita State just smacked them right back in the face and built that lead back up.
Nick Wiggins along with Fred Van Vliet, Anthony Early back into the game with Shadrach Luthiel, Kel Cotton as well. And there's Fred's first turnover of the game. Central has not scored in over 4 minutes. Took care of that, didn't they? Ingram is nice. 23 points. He's right at his average.
Phil and Eaton, both of them battling down low in the paint.
It's only a 10-point game. It's far from over at this point.
Now you cannot lose your focus. You got to keep playing the course. Wichita Central back in a man-to-man. I think if they're going to want to get back in this game, they're going to have to try to get into man-to-man, maybe trap out of that man-to-man, force some turnovers. They just got away with the turnover off of Van Vliet and capitalized off. They were able to get a big three-point shot to bring this game back in within 10.
Eighth team foul against North Carolina Central. Luthiel at the line, shooting 1 in the bonus. Wichita State is going to have just a trail to the line. We're coming up in another couple fouls. Greg Marshall with a wry expression on his face.
Nice to see Shadrach Luthiel get rolling again offensively. I mean, was outstanding at the St. Louis game. He had 12 points. He followed that up with 14 versus Oral Roberts, and then he kind of fell off. Had 4 points versus Tennessee and didn't score against Alabama. But I say that, not scoring the bat, but he's been playing outstanding defense at times. He's had to guard the best player on the court, and he's done a tremendous job of doing that.
Kel Cotton will shoot. Once the foul went on number 24, Eaton. His third, 9th team foul. Cotton at the line, shooting 1 and 1. Yeah, Shadrach in his last 2 games, just 4 points and 4 rebounds total, after averaging 11.5 points and 7.5 rebounds in 2 games previous. He had a 10-rebound performance down in Tulsa. He, for a long time, had been the most active of the 3 Shocker big men. Darius Carter has picked up his pace. Dean Colby has had some moments, but hasn't been consistent in those moments.
Well, Shadrach, if he gets going, and he had that stretch where he's playing outstanding, he's a big body on this court. This is a team that needs some size. 6'9", 266. That's a big boy in the paint.
Long 3 out against the zone. And 1. Good offensive rebound. Eaton with the long offensive rebound. Lee Anthony took a shot across the head. 4th team foul against Wichita State.
2 guys going up and get it, and either got it smacked in the eye, looks like an elbow right in the side of the face.
Yep. And the foul went against Shadrach Luthiel, his first.
It's a pretty big board by Eaton.
Yep.
A guy that does not play a lot. Getting in there, going and getting one.
That's just the 2nd offensive rebound by North Carolina Central. Eaton's got both of them. So zone looks by both teams.
And we've seen a lot of zone tonight.
Yep.
Both ways.
At the 10-minute mark. On Baker hasn't been heard from much here in the second half. 6 seconds to shoot. Baker from the corner. Money.
Attaboy, Bruce. Call him out. Call him out.
Baker knocks it down. 11 points to the sophomore out of Scott City.
Yeah, again, great patience in that zone. Good passing, working the zone side to side. Again, NC Central, they have a tough time of playing in that zone and not relaxing for 35 seconds.
Greg Marshall has seen enough. Kadeem Colby will come for Shadrach McFeel, who's committed the second foul. Ingram attacked the big fella, scored, and will be at the line. That's one of those, if you're going to foul him, make sure that he doesn't even get the shot off. I mean, you're 6'9" against his 6'3". Ingram has 10 points here in the second half, 25 for the game. Fred VanVleet back into the game for Wichita State.
And NC Central kind of just hanging around that 10-point mark.
Yep. Well, Wichita State has outscored them by 13 at the line. NC Central actually has outscored Wichita State from the field.
Ooh, VanVleet might have got away with a walk.
He did get away with a walk. And then a travel called against Ron Baker. Still plenty of time left in a 10-point game. Shockers had a tremendous first half in which they led often.
Yeah, no flow in this half-court set. Just a bad set. Not good passing. Guys couldn't get a grasp of the basketball. NC Central, this could be a big possession for them. If they can find a way to get a bucket, they're right in this basketball game.
That's a deep three.
I don't think you want that.
No, Anthony Early way up to get that rebound. Wiggins. And then the foul is going to be called on Reggie Groves. Groves, a 6'2" senior out of Raleigh by way of Canisius College.
Yeah, you take a deep three and then you commit the foul, which is putting Wichita State to the free throw line. Groves, although he's one of their best three-point shooters on the team, between him and Jeremy Ingram, had a hand in his face and was deep.
Shockers have not been exactly great at the line tonight, just 16 of 23, just under 70%. Wiggins misses them both. My goodness. Evan Wessel waiting to check in. Central looking to get the deficit to single points. Great ball fake by Ingram. He got two guys up, and then he scored down low.
Yeah, that's just scatter report. Shockers got to do a better job of defending that. They ran that play in the first half where they do that weave up top and then hit you with the screen. Communication is a must.
And Nick Wiggins from the corner for a triple. And that's news. He has shot under 20%. Ingram stepping back, looking for the three. Clay Anthony Early recovering.
Yeah, that's a big three for Nick Wiggins. That's the 6th one he's made on the season. Really struggling from behind the arc. But another guy has great form, great rotation. Good for him to get one to fall.
Nick Wiggins sizing it up from the corner and knocking it down. Stakes his team to an 11-point lead. Timeout on the floor. For North Carolina Central, Jawar and Copeland both with 4. Parks, Chapman, and Eden with 3 each. Shockers have avoided such calamity. North Carolina Central shooting a sizzling 57% here in the second half. So some good shooting and some poor defense by the Shockers has allowed Central to kind of hang in with this Wichita State team. Now the Shockers break. VanVleet all the way to the basket and one. Great stuff by Fred VanVleet. And Craig is a guard that played at this level. You can talk about body control, and that was a great example. When you're going in against guys that are bigger, stronger, to be able to shield yourself with the body and still make the play.
Well, you see how he has the ball in his right hand, and he starts building momentum to get his leaping ability up in the air. And then right as he gets into the air, gets off the deck, he puts it in his left hand. You see the crossover and then the shower to kind of commit to the defender. It's impossible to stop. And then to get the and one is the icing on the cake.
Van Vliet has had an outstanding night and knocks it down right on cue. Fred with 11 points. And the lead is back up to 14.
That was a big swing for Wichita State. I thought NC Central did a nice job of drawing up a play coming out of the timeout. They had a great look with the layup, unable to get it fall, and then transition for Wichita State with the and one. Hurts him.
Shocker staying in that zone. Ingram, and that was a little too easy on the weak side.
Basket by Parks.
It's just the third offensive rebound by North Carolina Central. Parks with it. Shockers have out-rebounded North Carolina Central 33-18 now.
I think NC Central has to start showing some sense of urgency on the defensive end. I know they just got it still there, but they were sagging in their 2-3 zone.
Strong to the basket, leaves it off. Three ball coming from Ingram. Boy, you can't give him time. Ron Baker kind of hesitated getting out to him, and Ingram just buried it right in his face. 31 points for Ingram, so we are getting as good as advertised from Jeremy Ingram, who has just been outstanding tonight, and it's back to a 9-point game.
Yeah, and that's tough to guard for Ron Baker. Jeremy Ingram shot the ball 19 times.
Anthony Early has not scored here in the second half. He had 11 in the first. Lee is in the game along with Darius Carter, Takale Cotton, Fred Van Vliet, Ron Baker. Marshall looking for a little urgency from his club.
Patience in this. NC Central, they're just trying to get out there, get a trap, get you to pick it up right there. Get on the side, see if they get a trap and get a quick turnover. They're doing a nice job of not allowing them to get any dribble penetration. And Van Vliet might have got away with one.
Baker to the basket, and he'll shoot two. That's a bailout for an offense that didn't do much against the zone. Baker putting it on the floor and getting to the basket for the whistle.
You know, Ron Baker, he has so many talents. He does so many things, but he's such a smart basketball player. Understands the game. Shot clock's going down. You were a little discombobulated in your half-court set. What do? Put the basketball on the floor, get into the body, commit the foul, and get to the free throw line.
Chawara has just fouled out. His fifth. The freshman from Pontiac, Michigan, will sit.
Number 24, back in North Carolina Central.
Wichita State shooting at 68% from the line, 17 of 25. So they've cooled off considerably after what had been a really torrid pace over their last three games. And they have outscored their opponents tonight 14 points at the line. And that, frankly, is the difference in this basketball game. And nothing but net for Baker. His 12th point of the night. He and Van Vliet with 12. Darius Carter 17. Anthony Early with 11. But all in the first half. Great job by Clee to get that one. Early for three. And they got Darius Carter over the top on the foul. Clee had a good look on that one. It just rung out. 17th foul against Wichita State. Excuse me, Craig.
No, you're fine. They got a chance to get themselves back under 10 again at the free throw line.
Eden at the line shooting 1-1.
So Eden at the line shooting 1-1. Big fella pressed into action tonight to try to combat some of Wichita State's size. Left-hander. Barely got in.
Begging for it to go.
Yep. Four of 10 from the line now. Lamone Eaton. And we got it to go. So we're back to a single-digit deficit. 8 points is as close as Central has been in quite some time. Across the midcourt line with a second to spare, and Anthony early with his first points of the second half.
Sean with the basketball, handling pressure, finding your shooters. Early spotting up in the corner. Those are the type of shots that just eat at you. You feel yourself trying to itch your way back into this basketball game, and then you put some pressure.
Great job by Ron Baker, and the Shockers have reeled off 5 straight points. They're on their feet. Timeout on the floor. Order restored with a 13-point lead.
Man, they can get you in a hurry,
quickly. Very quickly. Defense create.
And they are complete basketball players. They are very smart. They defend, they rebound, and they take care of the basketball. They value the basketball. It's important to them.
Across the timeline with 3 seconds to spare.
And what's special, they feed off of each other. You just saw that play by Baker, dishing it off to Van Fleet, knowing that I thought Baker might have had a lane to the basket, but gives it up unselfishly. Great spacing when they're in the open courts.
Foul by Takale Cotton. A little too aggressive playing through that. 3 on Takale. That's 8 on Wichita State. Well, at the line is the one place you want Ingram. 3 of 8 from the line. 31 points. 31 of their 53. Nothing but net on that one. 36 is his season high. He may end up attacking that tonight. He's got 33 now.
Wichita State in the second half has done everything they needed to do to answer any mini run that NC Central has put forth. Whether getting a turnover, hitting a big shot, they've answered each one.
Anthony early released. It was wide open. Ron Baker rims one out. Closest that center, and there's a mugging. Anthony early called for the foul. Closest that Central has been is 8 points.
Can't break it.
It's 11 right now. Carolina Central on your Delta Dental reset, trailing by 11. And has Wichita State in the double bonus. Shockers also own the possession arrow. Final 4 banner that hangs high from the ceiling here at Charles Koch Arena. 1 of 2 for Wichita State. Of course, they went in 1965 as well. Eden with the left hand knocks it down. Ramon Eden has given them pretty good minutes tonight. 16 with 4 or 5 points now and 3 rebounds. Ramon shows good touch.
You got to give NC Central credit. They've stuck around. I mean, they've been hanging around that 10-point mark, but this game looked like it was going to be a 15, 20, 25-point blowout.
Shockers have not been able to build on a 16-point lead at the half. In fact, they've spent most of the second half fending off the visitors from Durham. Central has done a really good job extending their zone defense, and Wichita State has not really been able to penetrate and get quality shots. And that's a little easier. A little putback by Darius Carter off the air ball from Anthony early.
And that's been the difference in this game, the second chance shots for Wichita State.
Clee just loves to shoot that 3. That's his 7th 3 ball of the night. And Greg is not happy about that last shot. Carter with 19 points and 5 rebounds.
Well, you got a hand in the face. It looks like he might have said drive it, shot fake, drive it, and go dunk on somebody.
Lee with 14 points and 9 rebounds, but on 4 of 10 shooting. And it's where he's getting his shots that you have the questions about. 7 of those shots have been from beyond the arc. So he hasn't set up shop down low, hasn't made things happen as much down low. Now, granted, he's got his zone defense that he's worked against, but he hasn't done much in the 15 feet range tonight.
And outside that 3 in the corner, I think his attempts have been pretty good attempts. Not a lot of guys on this team, and that's why they're so good. They don't take bad shots. Big, deep 3.
Ingram for a triple right in front of Takale Cotton. And it's an 8-point ball game. Boy, Central just comes down and fires with 3:10 left.
Well, this is a team that's number 18 in the nation at holding opponents to 62 points per game. They do a tremendous job of switching up their defense. You see them tonight. They've done a 1-3-1. They've done a 3-2, a 2-3, man-to-man. They've extended it out to half court. They pitch up at full court. They hold opponents. They fluster them. They try to get them to take shots you don't want to take. But it's been the silly things that they've done to not allow them to get this game back in, 1, 2, 3 points. Not rebounding. Second chance shots. Silly fouls. 30 feet, 35 feet from the basket. Easy points.
Wichita State looking to close that out the line, and that has not been an easy thing tonight. They're 18 of 28, shooting just 64%. So quite a bit off of their season average of 75%, and they miss another one.
Well, they came into over the last 4 games, they were shooting at 82%. Tonight is not the case.
The Sharks get 1 for North Carolina Central's 3. 9-point game. Anthony Early in that zone is the nearest one to Ingram.
I would say pretty close to him.
I'd say so. There he is. Quick 3. Didn't get it. And then Cotton is fouled on the rebound.
That's the one they needed, too.
Foul is going to go against Jordan Parks. His 4th. 2 players have already fouled out for North Carolina Central. Cotton will go to the line where he was 1 of 2 just a moment ago. Gale with just a couple of 3 points tonight to go along with 4 assists and 2 rebounds. My goodness.
Tell you what, Greg Marshall, he can make some faces, can't he? That one was just like, are you kidding me?
Knocks that one down and gets it back to 10. You've got to give it to North Carolina Central.
No question.
Travel issues, team coming in on different planes. Flights delayed, equipment delayed, and yet here they are within 7 points of Wichita State.
Tell you what, sticking around. And Wichita State, they're going to have to find ways to put the hammer down. I think it was 16, 17 points coming out second half that they were at. That's when you've got to finish teams. That's when you've got to put the hammer down, put your foot on their throat, and in the game. But yes, no question, give NC Central credit. They are sticking around and fighting tooth and nail.
They've led the second half by 9 points. 6 seconds to shoot. Baker for 3.
Oh, that one hurts. That one hurts.
Boy, Ron Baker came around, curled around, and caught that one as he was turning in the air and knocked it down.
And that's been open all night when they extend that zone. The corner has been the one spot where Wichita State has had some success of finding the open 3. And Ron Baker able to get it done. And this kid's going to get high flying.
Anthony Early with the high flying dunk. Off the strip by Fred Van Vliet of Ingram. And the Shockers are closing with a flurry. And the foul is going to go against Takale Cotton at the 1-minute mark. Every time, and this is to Wichita State's credit, every time that NC Central makes a little run, the Shockers flurry right back.
Yeah, it's almost like you say, wait a second, this isn't going to happen. Just pick up our D, get a handle on the basketball, get this guy out in transition. Nasty.
Ingram with a new season and career high, 37 points. We missed that one. He's been fun to watch.
Yep.
Wichita State's going to get their 12th straight win. Off again until next Sunday at 2 o'clock when they face Davidson. We'll have it for you here on Cox Kansas 22. Takeo Cotton, great catch, and he's hammered by Ingram. So Takeo will go to the line to shoot 2.
It's almost like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
You finally get some smiles out of their faces. It's like they almost, okay, now we can have a little fun, we can breathe. NC Central stuck around and they tried.
Yep, got as close as 7 points. Shockers closing them out here. Terrell Green, Nick Wiggins, Evan Wessel, along with Shadrach Luthiel into the game for Wichita State. Just past the 9 o'clock hour here in the Central Time Zone. Cotton knocks them both down. Takeo sits. Jack Bush into the game now for Wichita State. So next Sunday against a Davidson team that comes in after taking North Carolina to overtime on the road in a game that really they had a tremendous chance to win. Good move. Terrell Green just didn't follow the path of the ball. It landed right by his feet. So it's ended up going to be an 11-point win for the Shockers. North Carolina Central falls to 7-3. Wichita State improves to 12-0. Gutsy effort by North Carolina Central, a winning effort by Wichita State. Get a little break now for the Christmas holiday. And then they come back and face Davidson. This is a well-timed break right here, isn't it, Craig? This time of the season, grinding a little bit. You've had some nicks and some bumps and some bruises. You've had Ron Baker go through a ankle sprain. It's good to have a few days where you can at least kind of just take it easy a little bit and kick back and
no
relax.
question. You had finals last week. You get a little break off of school. You know, there's